I want to start the hour by talking about an issue impacting thousands of members of the LGBTQ+ community in our state. Texas is one of many states in the country that lacks laws designated to protect members of the LGBTQ community from discrimination. We're talking about being denied housing or employment solely based on gender identity and/or sexual orientation. Joining me now, Ad Council Chief Campaign Development Officer Heidi Arthur and Brad Sears, Founding Executive Director of Williams Institute. Good morning to you both. Thank you both so much for coming on the show. We appreciate your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
For people saying, wait, what did he just say? This is reality in 2024. Talk to us about that. People not familiar with this discrimination existing today, how does it impact people?
Yeah, I think people find that very shocking when we look at national data from surveys from LGBTQ people. We find that about half are not out at work, and the reason why they're not out at work is because about half of LGBTQ people report being discriminated against or harassed at work. About a third report similar discrimination in housing when they're going to rent an apartment or from their landlord or tenants or already when they have an apartment. And I guess what's still shocking is about half the states, including Texas, don't have legal protections that prohibit that discrimination and harassment.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to know, obviously we're talking about people within the LGBTQ community, but for those saying, hey, you know what, I'm not part of that community, this doesn't impact me, it does. It does impact you. Talk to us about how this has a ripple effect on the at large, the greater community.
I mean, I would say, discrimination against one community fuels discrimination for everybody in our country. And this campaign is truly designed to take on bias, hate, and discrimination through a lens of our shared humanity. The American Dreams film is all about the fact that we all share the same hopes and dreams. We all want a safe home. We all want the opportunity for a better life. We all want to go to sleep at night feeling safe and sound. Yet this is not the reality for many people in our country, including the LGBTQ community, because of the increased discrimination that they face, as well as Brad said, the lack of protections. And it's real, and people just are not aware.
Talk to us about rights, specifically here in Texas, and to folks living or staying in other states where this also applies. Talk to us about rights and what people can do if they feel as if this is happening to them or a loved one.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what area of your life you're being discriminated, harassed against. So there are federal protections if you feel like you're being discriminated against at work or being harassed by Opportunity Employment Commission. Federally, you just can't at the state level. And so for many people, the federal process can be more expensive. It can take a lot of time. And so they really rely in a number of states on state legal protections that doesn't exist for Texas, for employment, for housing, for discrimination by businesses.
Talk to us about Love Has No Labels, the campaign, and how it's helping to combat discrimination.
I mean, one of the beauties of this campaign, again, it's not wagging the finger. It's not saying there's something wrong with you. It's about empowering people, about increasing empathy and understanding and engaging people in creating the world that they all say they want. Everyone wants to live in an inclusive and accepting society. And by revealing our shared humanity, exposing people to stories for individuals where they may not know anybody from the LGBTQ community, and you can go deep and see, wow, that should not happen to my neighbor, to my friend, to anybody. And being able to raise awareness, increase empathy and understanding, have people educate themselves on what is the situation in my own backyard. We're really empowering people with knowledge, which is truly helpful to address an issue that for many can feel so amorphous.
For people wanting to get involved, looking to get involved, how can they go about doing so?
They should go to lovehasnolabels.com and explore the site. We go deep in education. We help people find ways to engage with groups in their own community or at the national level. and feel empowered with knowledge so that you can increase conversation. You know, we find that lack of awareness sometimes as a result of people just being afraid to talk about it, not saying the right thing, or feeling, you know, someone may not want to hear what I have to say. And this is all about empowerment through a sense of the feeling that underneath it all, we're all human beings.
Yeah, hosting conversations like this, asking questions. Thank you both, Heidi and Brad, for joining us this morning. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.